By the way, your sister's quitting her job. Did she
Oh,
tell you?
What date?
She has to give 90 days notice.
Okay.
So, like any day now.
She's been telling me for quite some time. So we talked about 2 weeks ago, me and her, we were just talking, like, you and I should, me and her should just go to Acadia National Park next fall. She's like, it's funny, I was looking at that and I didn't know what that was until researched it. Because she's like, we're buying an RV and would love to do that. I'm like, but the only problem is kids are gonna have school. And you need a good week and a half to travel through all of those, couple states to go check it out. So I'm like, kids might be out, but can do a road trip.
You two can go.
Yeah, that's what I told her. I
That
thought
would
we can go, we just get a car.
that would be fun. And then India, you guys need to figure that out too. Quit fucking around.
I know, I told her I had to wait. She said she's okay because the tickets aren't gonna be that expensive in January and February anyways.
Okay, listen, they're not expensive now, so why not fucking book?
Because I'm just trying to figure a couple of things out. I
All
talked
right.
to her already, she knows. And then Anjan's also they're kind of trying to figure out they were gonna have their gas station sold by end of November. They're closing done. I know you're shaking your head, but he's hoping now it's probably pushed a couple weeks or so.
Is that even a real transaction?
It is because they already got SBA financing the buyers.
So this
that's
is
gonna happen.
this is their other sister, and they got no appraisal, they got no commercial broker, they got a friend of theirs who's a residential realtor to find a buyer for this gas station. They might be underpaying by 500,000 or more,
Oh my God.
probably
Mhm.
close to a
Great
million.
deal.
Why don't we, you want to buy it, Rinku? Let's go.
It's in Rockford, I'm right outside of Rockford.
It's the middle of nowhere, but
Yeah,
just like they're probably buying it at like a 15 cap.
Oh my God.
I agree. I agree. It's such a good buy. And I told him, I said, dude, just jack up your price, give it to a broker. You don't have to worry about anything about them getting financing. He's like, yeah, we didn't even sign a purchase contract or I didn't even get an earnest money or anything. I'm like, so they can tell you no and they wasted your time.
Over 2 years ago, I told him, call a commercial broker, find out from your beer distributors who the brokers are that are moving gas stations. Call them and just ask them what I can get from my gas station. He's like, oh, okay, I don't know how to do that. Can you do that for me? And I ripped him a new ass. I'm like, dude, you're a grown ass man. Figure your shit out, man. The whole world's catered to you your whole life. Like, and he never did anything with it.
Can Gerna knock any sense into him?
Yeah, Garna's tried. And matter of fact, Garna proposed something like, if I can get you over this certain amount of money, can I get 50 grand? And parents didn't go for it. So of course Garna's like, fuck them. He's done. He's staying out of it.
Oh, man.
But I think he's tried to help them. They just don't listen.
Well,
I mean, this is a 5-year long conversation we've been having with them. But anyway, good. I hope they sell. And then your sister's free. Apparently, they're going to go get Amazon jobs in a factory.
They need something to do. What are they gonna do at home? Right? I always feel like even though you retired, you gotta move, you gotta do something,
yeah,
Oh,
but not
right?
at an Amazon job.
I know.
Right, no, I don't think it's Amazon job. It's gonna be something silly where they're like, we just need it for insurance purpose, and it's only one person, right? And it's I see it. I just don't think you can sit at home and you'll go crazy and your body needs to move, I think.
Agree 100%. But Amazon, really? That's what they're set on.
Oh, really? Is there even Amazon there?
Fuck, I don't know.
Exactly. So
Just
what
like
the
There
everything
is.
else.
Wait, there is. It's in downtown Rockford.
Uh,
really?
I was
Mhm.
going to say, just like everything else, they probably didn't think that one through either.
Okay.
Wait, what's Dee gonna do once she's done?
Um, she's got a few ideas. She may pursue a functional health degree. Um, I don't know. She just needs to stay the fuck out of my way.
Wait,
No, I'm
wait,
kidding.
did you not say, this was like a couple years ago, hey, it seems like you and I are working great. What about if we brought Dee into this?
Um, I don't think that's the greatest idea. um, I think she can offload certain tasks from me, right? She doesn't want to feel like a secretary. If she does something, she wants to be able to add value, and I don't have that need from her. You know what I mean? Unless she's going to look for deals all day, but then there's a learning curve involved, and if she's not passionate about it, I'm developing Gurnon. He's actually doing good. So, um, I don't know that there's an ongoing need for her. She might be able to handle a couple tasks here and there, but she needs to. I mean, she's driven, right? She's got to figure out something that fulfills her.
She said she wanted to keep her VA thing. For a
She'll do
minute.
that. She does that like half day a week.
Yeah. Well, good. It's all right. You
She'll
know what?
she'll figure it out.
Exactly. And it's okay to take some time off. And I think for us three sisters, we've known since we were probably the age of 11, we've been working our asses off. So
I know
it's okay to have some time off.
that bitch can't sit still.
Yeah, that's gonna be the hard part for her. She'll like the second day out of retirement, she'll be like, okay, now what do I do?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Megan's close to retirement too, right?
Oh my God, that guy has like 15 more years. He better. He didn't marry no sugar mama, so he better like get his shit together.
all right.
Um,
What's on the agenda? What's on the plates?
Hey, so how was meeting Ben Mala?
It was cool. I got a video. We'll edit it and clean it up a little bit, but he was cool as shit. We actually found his phone, and no one knows the story because we're all lit. But apparently, we got in some rickshaw and we found his phone. We tracked him down, and he was very grateful that we returned it to him. I have no idea how we did that.
Wow.
Nobody, it was like five of us, and no one remembers that part of the story. But as soon as I saw him, I started recording. So I got a pretty cool video. He was just, he was cool.
oh,
Yeah. Hung out with us for a couple minutes and we ended up leaving. But,
Does he want to be a speaker on our next
well, I
tonight?
emailed him and I'm like, hey, man, I'm the guy who fucking returned your phone. I know in the past you've opened your house up to people staying there, like companies renting it out. So I'm like, what can we do to get you? What can we do to get your time with our group? So that was just this morning.
cool. So stay tuned to the next week's podcast to figure out what he said.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Very cool.
Joked around and um we could sell him some deals. Said as long as there's meat on the bone, he'll buy it.
Station
Really?
loft.
Yeah. I mean, I've got his email address. We can try. Send him the OM.
Let's do it.
All right.
I mean, the more help that we can get to selling it. Plus, if we bring our broker or buyer, it's only 2%. We're paying commission, so
There we
that's
go.
even better.
I like it. What else?
Can we put that on the mastermind, Ash? That link that I sent you guys, the Cruxy?
Yes.
Have we gotten any hits, Rinku, on Station Loft?
Not that I know of, no.
Even after the update on Prexing?
No, I haven't had um a catch-up time with him. So we did the update last week. I think Wednesday is when all of it changed up. So we had Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, five days in it. I'm hoping there is some movement on it.
Okay.
And Inglewood is live.
I don't know if it's live. It should be live. So I'll follow up with Todd and Karna.
All right, Garnet just woke up. I gave him a pass today.
That's nice of you. What good deed did he do?
Nothing, but the kid, he's in here 7 a.m. and I mean, only time rarely do we break for lunch, right? Normally we just work through. And yesterday we took a break to heat up some food. But then he went right back to it. Um, he just I want to make sure he doesn't get burned out.
Yeah.
So that's it. No good deed. If anything, has done shit to make me yell at him, but no, he's doing fine.
Yeah, so I'll ask Arnett. It was ready to go. I mean, the OM looked great. We wanted it updated just like how we did Station Loft Works. So I think it's ready to be live. So I don't know if it is. I'll double check.
Okay.
So that's that one. Rinku took a tour last week of the Flex building in Douglasville. And Rinku, you want to give your feedback?
Yeah, so the office space looked amazing. They put in about $250,000 in renovating that office space in the front. Has about 10 different office spaces, a huge conference room, kitchen, actually a front reception area. And all of these offices have floor to ceiling glass, walls and glass doors. So really nice. You can tell, but then the minute you step into the warehouse space, definitely needs some work. We would have to put some money into it. I saw a couple, leaks that are possibly could be a roof issue, but the agent said there really isn't. HVAC is only in the front office space, which was from 2017, so they're 6 years old. Not, not that new, but not that old either. So they have a verbal easement for that third back building for in and out kind of with the neighboring business that's there. Nothing in writing that the broker knew of, but they were gonna check and let us know on it. Price is really good per square foot, but I don't know the thought of, renting out 25,000 to one business and how long that will take. And what the need is for that big of a space.
How much office is there?
About just 2,000 square feet.
Okay.
Yeah, I think like the buyer, I mean, the seller thinks that he can get a pretty good amount for this. He doesn't want to budge on his initial price at all. It is priced higher than what the market demands for this older of a building. So I think what I told the broker yesterday was, we're really interested. If he's willing to come down on his price, we would be interested in moving forward. However, at this price, just keep us in the hopper about it. He's not willing, and that easement thing is kind of concerning. I don't want a verbal agreement for access. Like, sorry, I need that officially recorded with the city, because I mean, that's a big risk later on. So
why don't we see if we can get this under due diligence, use the easement to buy time? Because we'll have to get a survey done. We'll have to get the neighbor to agree, get the lawyers involved, title company. I mean, we can buy 60 days.
yeah, but if he's so fixated, right? And we're the highest offer. Like, we have put in the highest offer compared to everyone else who's put in offers. So we would be like the front runner the minute he's ready to go down, right?
Let's go. Let's do it.
So
I say we do it, and we will work on getting the easement.
Okay, so little information. So that place used to be a glass company, right? They did glass and hence that's why the whole office area is all glassed up. Is, probably didn't cost them the 250, to do it, because they were using their in-house labor and in-house, materials and stuff. But the owner tried to sell that for over a year. It was listed, just the business itself, and they didn't get a single buyer to sell that. So, I mean, I would have assumed in that process, somebody would have come up to him and asked him, hey, can we lease a space? But again, we don't even know where they were marketed or anything, but under 60 days, if we can get it leased out, then it would be worth it.
Yeah, and he's already been disappointed once, so he's used to it. Why don't we do that? And we just leave it open ended on however long it takes to get the easement. We market the hell out of it.
Okay.
And it's going to cost us $3-4 grand to get an easement.
And maybe, Artie, you can get with the broker. So the listing broker had said, yeah, he's had some interest on lease back, people wanting to lease back, but they didn't want to buy it. Couple people, so maybe see how serious or what type of business those were, and maybe we can try to lease it to those people.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, let me talk to him. Let's see what we can lock it down at.
Is it worth trying to negotiate price too?
Yeah, I think it's worth, like, if we're serious about it, they're coming in at like his initial offer is 2.585. He's down to 2.5 will be the lowest. We went in at, I think, at 2.3.
But he said you can get a deal done between 2.4 and 2.5.
So I think we say
He'll walk away with that, yeah.
And then I think we say that we put in an offer and say that, later on we retrade it and say like the roof will need some money adjusted and all of that, right?
Yeah.
We don't bring that up now, but we bring that up later on.
Yeah. And what a great excuse to buy time, easement.
Yeah. And then we get him into like January where no one's buying buildings, potentially,
Yeah.
and go from there. So I think it's a
Yeah.
good idea. Let's, I'll talk to him today.
Interest rates went up, more pricing pressure. Yeah, man. Get it at 2.1.
Interest rates are crazy. So I'm buying a building for this company I consult with, and the firm has probably 25 million with the bank just sitting there in cash. The best rate they could give was 7.25 with a 3-2-1 for prepayment, which is 3% the first year, 2% the second, 1% the third. It is like, and then it's recourse loan. I mean, every single bell and whistle to make it like not in your favor, even though you have so much money sitting there in deposits.
Yeah, it's going to get worse.
Well, then I think about like normal people. I'm like, dude, if you have that much money sitting there and they're still, this is the best deal they can do after like rounds of negotiations, and then a loan origination fee of 1%. I'm like, what? After this much business? So it's tough. It's a tough market out there.
I was watching the Minneapolis Fed president this morning, and he's like, yeah, man, like this shit's not really working. All of our policies that we've put in, the economy hasn't really cooled down as much as it needs to. And consumers are still strong. So they're going to keep raising. I mean,
Is there any other things that are pending? Are we doing something this winter, a meetup, or what's our final on this one?
So it kind of depends on the girls. If they go to India in February, then we could do something in March.
All right. So book your tickets, Ringo.
I'll only be gone 10 days, so I can work it around if we want to keep it in February.
March will be hard if we want to do Vegas or something. But if we're going to do like Dallas because like March Madness is crazy in Vegas. So we'll just want to think about that. So potentially we kind of firm up something thinking that the girls are going to India, and then we just do it later then.
Yeah. I mean, 10 days, we can work around you.
So maybe like the first weekend in February or something.
Yeah.
Because February is a good escape for people,
Okay.
We just want to know, should we do Dallas, Florida? What was our other places?
Vegas, Arizona.
So maybe we can dice that up next week during our call.
Okay.
Really interesting article I read this morning that Biden wants to convert empty offices into apartments. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I read through everything that the White House put out about that. They don't have rules yet, other than they have to be zero emission buildings.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
No, I didn't read that.
This is a half-ass thought right now, right? And the Department of Energy and HUD are supposed to come up with their own plans, but it's got to be zero emissions. It'll be the typical thing where all the developers steal money, get rich, go to jail in a couple of years for fraud. But yeah, they have like what, 10 billion, $20 billion they're slating for this.
Yeah, but this has to be existing buildings. So a lot of the existing old offices aren't zero emission. So
Right, but they have to be converted to zero emission
that's crazy.
and residential, right? Which I don't think they understand how much this shit costs.
Yeah, they put aside $35 billion for this, and mainly concentrated in Illinois, New York, and California. So that tells you something.
They've already
For goodness.
defined the areas.
Yeah, because that they want to make it's to bring people back to the city centers.
Then they should open it up to every city.
Mhm.
I think they will. They're just incentivizing like American downtowns to get revitalized.
Yeah, are they going to fix San Fran? Because they've gotten hit the worst.
Oh yeah, I know. It's crazy. I mean, I'm just like shocked that they're willing to. I mean, it's just this economy, like just throwing this kind of money for this cause. Like, come on.
I know. And you know what sucks is our plan on buying these office buildings cheap now
Yeah.
gets derailed because these redevelopers are going to start chasing these buildings.
That's exactly what I thought about this morning. I was like, there is an opportunity for offices to come back, right? And now you're just gonna, but here's the other thing, is like there's gonna be more scarcity of offices. So like we're gonna really kind of triumph on it, because where will offices go if everything becomes residential?
Yeah, well, we have probably 30 million square feet that just came online because WeWork declared bankruptcy.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're done.
Can you believe that? Wow,
They're done. Done.
that's crazy.
He was on
Hey,
top of the world at one point.
Cohatch is expanding.
They are,
Yeah, in Ohio.
but
Mhm.
not anywhere else.
Is that right?
Mhm.
Why is
Yeah.
that?
Apparently, I told you my guy here, right? The GC, he started training with them, and then he's like, they put a pause on it, and they said, hey, we're no longer going to be expanding anywhere else, so we don't need you. But originally, their plan was to expand into Georgia market, Tennessee market.
Interesting.
Hey, Rinku, any news for the flex and potentially Paulding?
No, so obviously it got rezoned, and the civil guy is backed up that's working on that. So it'll be at least till this is holiday season, so nothing's gonna get done on the civil side until January probably.
Okay. So I think it makes sense for us maybe to think about doing that flex fund if we get this Douglasville property under contract, and if we're going to hit up the Paulding one, at least start raising and just say we won't be doing payments until we close on one of the properties.
Yeah. Would you want to recapitalize our flex building, Rinku, instead of selling it?
Our bank's really doing that right now.
Not banks, our investors. We would sell a good portion of our equity in that building to investors.
I'm open to it. Actually, I was just thinking about this morning of selling it. I mean, pro forma in the next 6 months, when the 3 leases are up, we're looking at a 1.2, 1.3 valuation at a 7.5 cap. So
I mean, if you put it up for sale now, at least you'll hit some of the people that are interested in the depreciation before the year end.
that's exactly what I was thinking, is that, maybe it's not a big property, it is a small, deal wise, kind of looking at it. It's a good size for someone to take it. There isn't that many flex buildings in that area, so I think it has potential.
You guys know the Real Deal website? It's kind of like the New York Post for real estate, kind of like a tabloid. Joe Fairless told me that they're running an article on him and Frank and his company, and they don't write anything rosy. But I'm reading it real quick.
Oh, I see it.
Joe was afraid that these guys were going to crap. They worked through many evictions. Frank and Joe paid for their rate caps personally, not anticipating a capital call. The general partners would continue to fund shortfalls. Unloading the assets is not an option. Good. This is not a bad article.
Cool.
Yeah. He was afraid that they were going to just blast him.
Did
But
they interview him?
no, they asked if they could. They asked for statements and they just ignored it. Sounds like it was the right thing to do. These guys, they publish some pretty decent stuff, but they get carried away as well. And the fact that they were pretty factual and nice says a lot. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, for them to say that like Joe and them are putting in their own money, I wonder where they got all that detail.
From investors. That's good.
Yeah, that worked out.
That could have been bad. What would they write about us? Holy shit. Gurnau would be their source. He'd spill the beans.
Okay, so for next steps, I will speak with the Douglasville guy for the flex on the site. We'll sort that out. And then anything else, we should probably start thinking about raising for this fund and how we want to do it. So maybe our next meeting, we can kind of talk through different structures.
Do we want to put up the smaller flex that we have on Craigslist just to kind of see? I mean, we
Yeah,
don't need broken for that, to be honest.
it doesn't hurt. The problem is you have expiring leases.
Which is good because they're all under market.
If the buyers are savvy.
All right, I mean, so it's really not gonna cost us much, right, to list it on
Sure.
Craigslist?
Yeah. You doesn't hurt.
We put it up, and if that's the feedback we get, I just say you take it off in 2 months. And wait till, May or June when the leases are renewed, and then we list it again at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it hurts to just try the market if I were you guys and do it yourself, right? There's not enough meat for a broker at this point.
Right.
Yeah,
All right. So we got to find out about Inglewood's OM. We'll talk about there's so much demand right now for raising for flex.
what do you mean demand, as in
People
from
wanting,
investors?
yeah, out of multifamily into flex. I've had a lot of people, Ash, what do you have? What do you have? And a handful of people that are million, half a million liquid wanting to deploy.
Got it. Then let's move forward on the other one, the one that we have a land on.
Or the one in Ohio?
No, here, the new build.
The one that needs a facade.
No, the Paulding one.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should.
So I think we should do that one. And I think let's see how this one turns out, the older one. And I think those could be the first two in the flex one. And we can keep it rolling too, if we want, depending on what, like we could keep it as like a 2024 flex fund.
Why don't we do what Homer and Risba do? Is have a kind of an open-ended fund, but you only get everything from the day you start on. You don't have exposure to previous assets.
So you can do that. It's just an accounting nightmare.
I know, but how do they've got to be doing it somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just have to figure out how to do it. Because then some people will say, I agree with you don't get access before, but then you would still have to buy into future stuff, right? Like right?
Yeah, no, you're right. There's a lot of questions, but do you instantly have access to those or do you have to buy into those?
So usually like if you think about how venture people do it, they have like these really long, like 10, 15-year funds, right? So they'll be raising money for fund one and the raise will go for 2 years. And people who get in initially will get in at an X amount valuation of the fund, right? And so they're raising at $100 million fund. Cool. I want to put 10 million. So now I have 10% of the fund. Now the things that were in the fund have gone up in value, right? 6 months later. So now if you put your money in, the valuation is now 200 for this fund. So your same 10 million is 5%, right?
Yeah.
So that's how they kind of structure the like putting in money later. And then you pay like a catch up. So you still get access to some of the deals from before, right? You pay like a prorated share as a catch up fee, right? Is what they call it.
Yeah. Well, so I'm investing in their deal. So we can sit down with them and ask a
Yeah.
lot of questions.
Let's do it.
But I think that would make sense for, I'll write that down. For us to do that with Flex, especially if we're turning and burning some of these things.
Yeah. We also want to make sure that whatever we raise going forward, we raise for any renovations and things like, especially with this one that we might get under contract, that one's going to need a lot more work, right? Where the one that we're building new won't, right? So
Yeah.
we're going to take that for apples and apples. The other one, we're going to have to raise a ton more.
Yeah. Good point.
And I think the other thing here is that we're not, what happens with like venture is you don't get like a pref payment. You kind of just get your value on exits, right? So
Yeah. These guys pay quarterly.
what do they pay quarterly?
I think 8%,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken.
So I'm wondering, like, you make up a good point because I'm thinking, like, can we go the more venture private equity route in real estate? You know, because a lot of the more like heavyweight investors don't really care about the prep; they really care about what lump sum they're going to get at the end, right? The non-savvy investors, I really care about, oh, you didn't give me my 8%. Really pissed off. I was banking on that, right? Like the doctors and everyone just like feel very safe with 8% and don't even think about the upside, right? But could we do something that, hey, you don't get a pref and you're just going to be rolling in our fund for the next like 4 years. And as we sell things, you'll get these big distribution checks.
Yeah, I think we would do well with that. Um, I think we also have to have a class or an offering with the 8% pref,
Yeah,
right?
I'm
Just
with
so
you.
we don't alienate those people. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think there's plenty of people out there that would love a negative K1 and not worried about quarterly payments. They want to make it big on the end.
Yeah, I'm having dinner with someone tonight who just sold a big healthcare like system, lab and robotics, all this, made a ton of money, put like 20 million in for 9%. Can you believe that? I was like, are you like, what are you doing? So I'm literally gonna have dinner just to tell him like how stupid that decision was.
What's the risk on that 9% on the investment?
There's a big asset behind it. So there's
Okay.
an asset that was purchased for probably like 30 million below book. It's like a huge hotel, resort, all this stuff. But still, you're still behind the bank. So great, but if there's not enough equity in the deal down the road, you're still screwed at 9%. Not great.
Yeah. Here's a question for you. I got approached by somebody that I don't know, Facebook person. Apparently, they've got some experience operating and turning around boutique hotels. They have an opportunity to buy a hotel right outside of Gatlinburg, Tennessee, entrance to the Smoky Mountains National Park. They need somebody that has liquidity. They want, I think they said 2 million liquid. And for that, they would compensate whoever. And I know historically, Joe shared with me that that was the greatest way he's ever found to make money was signing on loans, but they were all non-recourse loans that he signed on, which means he has no risk whatsoever, right? And he got paid, I think, 4% and $50,000 per deal. This would be full recourse. The operators would sign personal guarantees. I don't know how long I would be out there, but according to them, it's less than a year, and then I'd be taken off. But of course, there's no guarantee on that. Any thoughts?
I mean, I would,
Appraised? Obviously, sorry. I asked you a question and I kept talking. So it appraised much higher than what they're buying it for, and they sent me some due diligence stuff that I got to go through. But what do you think?
I mean, the fact, number one, it's full recourse, which you're held liable, right? Number two, unless the bank knows that you're going to be taken off in a year, I don't know. Like the thing is, like they can tell you that, but the bank, the whole structure of the loan changes, right?
Right.
If you're like, why do they need you in the first place if they can pull you off in a year? That just doesn't make sense.
They have a bridge loan, and of course, if everything goes to plan, they'll get structured financing after the bridge period.
Yeah, but in the next year, I don't see any bridge period to be really great for anyone. I mean,
Yeah.
it's only going to get worse in the next year. That there's no guarantee you're off of it. And number three, it's such a small amount of liquidity, like 2 million, that I'm surprised they can't figure it out themselves.
I know.
And that's concerning. Like
Okay.
that's my three big red flags.
And this could be another Z situation, which is not worth it. Okay.
Which is
Thank you.
PTSD.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, dude, I think me and Artie made that decision after that, is that we are not doing anything unless we have some sort of hands-on or hand in it of a deal of the property or any of that stuff, because it's just not worth it to have that stress when we don't need it, you know?
You're right. Yeah. Good. Good point.
And we do fine in our properties, you know, what we've built equity into all of our properties, that I just don't think I want to do that, you know?
Agree. 100%. You're right. Thank you. Yes. Again, yeah. If it was non-recourse,
Oh, you have nothing to lose.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
I would do that all day. Listen, non-recourse. Cool. Have fun, you
Yeah.
know? But like there's so many things that don't make sense that give me like pause for concern.
yeah, and I think they have a $3 million raise that they're just about there on, and they have one investor in for $1 million. Why doesn't that investor sign?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That helps. Saves me a lot of heartache. Keeps your sister from having to go back to work.
Oh, man.
By the way, that private equity company is a shit show.
Which one?
Yeah.
Oh, the one that purchased her office?
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of them are. I mean, I go to doctor visits now, and it's a nightmare. I'm like, I don't even want to go see a doctor for anything at this point.
yeah. I don't know how they're going to exit ahead of where they purchased them.
They're not. That's
Yeah.
what they're. I mean, everything's their billing's a mess. They're like 90 days behind on billing. I'm like, how do you even catch up?
I know. D has no supplies. It's all shit. Yeah. So that's part of the reason she's getting the hell out.
She had a period, right, that she had to stay on with them.
Um, it's 3 years, but nothing's in the contract. She just needs to give them 90 days notice. And she has a non-compete that county that she would work in, they left out by accident, but she can work at the VA still. And she wants a half a day there at the VA. That's it. Insurance.
Yep, I get it.
We should have done that. Private equity nonsense. Just sell people on hopes and dreams and never deliver. Just keep kicking the can.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep at night doing that.
Of course, I get it.
I would feel so guilty taking someone's, like, their entire life savings or whatever that was, it just, because I've been through that,
Yeah.
that I couldn't do it to someone else.
No, I agree. But yeah, I'm glad she's getting out. Done.
That's nice.
All right. Anything else?
No,
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
you too.
Bye.
Bye.